Okay, on to number 3. I will put a word problem on the real test. And so what I will do is I will suggest um, some word problems for you guys to try. But it's really still utilizing all the concepts we talked about. Um, so here's one that we have in the practice test. We'll talk about right now. So you're dealing with a satellite that's following an elliptical orbit around Earth, and whose center, the Earth's center, is one focus of the orbit. So I probably should reword that. The Earth's center is one focus of the orbit. So you have an elliptical orbit. So we're going to draw an ellipse. Okay, that was kind of horrible. Let me redo that one. Okay, well, a little better. And the center of the Earth is one focus of the orbit. So let's say here's one focus. Here's the other focus. And we'll say the Earth is right there. The satellite, what if I were to put the satellite right here? Okay, there's my satellite. And you're told the satellite is 14,300 kilometers from the Earth's surface at the closest point in the orbit. Now that is a little bit tricky. And I know I didn't draw this to scale, but the closest point will occur at the vertex. I think on the test, I will just tell you it's at the vertex, just to make it easy for you guys. But if I were to ask a question like this, but the closest point will occur at the vertex, even though this is not the scale. I know you probably would think, oh, well, isn't the closest point here, or maybe isn't the closest point here? It actually is not. It's actually going to be at the vertex. But I'll just explicitly say that if I were to assign another problem like this. So you're told that's 14,300 kilometers from the Earth's surface. Sorry, from the Earth's center. So that's going to be right there. You're also told the eccentricity is 0.394. We'll come to that in a little while. Here's the question. What is the satellite's distance from the Earth's center at the farthest point of the orbit? So we basically want to know when the satellite's over here, where I just put the question mark, how far is it from the Earth at that point? That's what I want to find. So I give you a hint. Eccentricity equals C over A. And of course, you know C is the distance from the center to either foci, and A is the distance from the center to either vertex. Well, going back to my diagram, let's say that's the center. I do know this has to be C. And I do know this has to be A. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that the distance, 14,300, is going to equal A minus C. If you think about it, A minus C represents that distance right there, or if I highlight it, that might be a little bit better. That right there I just highlighted represents A minus C. If you have a hard time seeing it, pause the video and just think about it. A is the distance from the vertex to the center. C is the distance from the focus to the center. That difference will represent that highlighted portion, which is 14,300. And I do give you the value for the eccentricity, 0.394. So 0.394 equals C over A. So now I've got two equations involve C and A, and I need to know C and A because if you look at the question mark, going back to the question mark here, that involves C plus A, because C is the distance from the focus to the center, and from the center to the vertex on the other side, that's going to be A. So if I can find C and A in atom, I'm going to have my answer. So now what I do is solve for C and A. Well, that should be easy. C is going to equal 0.394 A. Substitute 14,300 equals A minus 0.394 A. You will need a calculator to do this, but it's 0.606 A equals 14,300. Solve for A, you should get 23,598. So that means that C, and that's kind of approximate, C should approximately equal 9,297 kilometers, using that relationship C equals 0.394 A. So the farthest point, again, is C plus A, which would be 9,297 plus 23,598, which will equal 32,598 kilometers. So that's going to be the answer for number 3. So I will suggest some word problems to do when I email this video. So in that email, there'll be some word problems you could probably try to practice this stuff. Okay,